friends. I am KJ Burdette. My business plan presentation is going to be on Burdette Music Studios. The first thing I'll talk about is my business model. So, Burdette Music Studios is a way to help provide music lessons for students of any age or skill level. And these lessons will be in violin, viola, music theory, or music composition. And there will be an emphasis on viola lessons and composition lessons. This is what I do professionally as a musician. It will also be a means for me to help publish my music, and then also, because I'm a composer, and that will also be a means for me to help distribute my music, and a way for people to commission me for music. So my customers are primarily going to be parents of music students, and musicians. Sorry. They would buy to fulfill needs of music lessons to develop their playing, composing, or music theory knowledge, or they would buy to fulfill needs for a piece for a wedding, or for a birthday, or for a funeral, or whatever they would need a new original composition or arrangement for. I would primarily use physical locations for my lessons. I want to operate my studio out of 2 physical locations. One location in St. George, Utah, and one in Laverton, Utah. And then I would also utilize online lessons over Zoom or Google Meets. My key partners will most likely be high school orchestra teachers. I'm going to also hopefully be able to have key partners in the music teachers at Utah Tech. And parents of students, of course. So, like, my key resources will be a place to teach. My spot for Laverton is secure. It's going to be my grandparents' living room. And I'll pay them for that. But other key resources will be repertoire books, etude studies, other musical materials such as pieces, and then instruments, which I already have a viola. I'll need to source a violin, and then I would also need things like paper, pencils, highlighters, just other resources to help with marking music. And then my key activities would be lessons and scheduling. My revenue stream would be a subscription-based model with revenue. Students will be paying for 4 lessons per month, and I would charge about $30 for an hour lesson, at least to start, and then $15 for about a half-hour lesson. The cost structure would be cost to pay rent for space to teach, musical materials such as physical music, paper to print the music, instruments, other materials, and supplies to help teach students. I am really appreciative of we talked about this in class, and I really think that the business model is one of the most important parts of starting this business. This was a great way to kind of really help physically, set everything apart. Of course, this is a great way to help me start running my business. The next section I'm going to be talking about is management with my future business, specifically the finances. Talking about finances in the early part of the class was super helpful. I'm going to mostly turn back most of the revenue that I will gain from the studio back into the studio, at least for the first bit, so I can get it all settled and get everything set out and financed and just get all of my music and all the things that I need. But it was also just helpful. I'm learning how to budget personally with my own personal money, and so I really liked talking about that because it was kind of just a little bit of reminder, budgeting is important, and it will especially be important with my business so that I can keep my business flowing, and make sure that I don't run out of money, or if something happens where I need to repair an instrument, or I need to buy new music, or that I will always have the money to do so. I really think that was a very important part to talk about. And then marketing was also marketing was a third important thing for me. I know I briefly talked about it. Oh, I didn't talk about it. Well, now I'm going to talk about marketing. I guess I accidentally skipped that in my business model. So I will advertise primarily through social media, and I will try to run different types of advertisements, but I'll advertise primarily on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, but I'll also advertise with other forms of media. I will try to through word of mouth. But a lot of my advertising will come through my key partners. I will like advertise hopefully through like the local high schools or local middle schools, and be like, I will go to the teachers and be like, hey, I offer my lessons. Here's a little poster with like lesson prices, lesson times, how it runs, and I will be like, you can hang this up if you want. And so that would be another great way to advertise. And then I will like hopefully be able to keep my customers through offering high quality lessons and instruction, but also good advertising. But marketing was a very important part of this class, because how are you going to start your business? How is your business going to run if you don't have customers? And so I think that was also a very, very important part of this class. Yeah. Anyways, thank you. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for sitting here and listening to my business plan.